Goodbye, freedom. Hello, communism. Welcome to the new USA. What's up, everybody? Welcome aboard to Bubba's Bottom Line for Sunday, March the 24th. And, well, I tell you, we continue to give away our freedoms. We continue to give it away all in the name of rising stock markets, ridiculous Federal Reserves, ignorance in the White House, morons on the Hill. Not a great situation that we're in right now. And in the near future, it doesn't look like it's getting much better. Obviously, we have an election coming up in about 6 months, and hopefully people will rise to the occasion and get rid of this piece of shit that's in the office right now, because what you're watching right now is unbelievable. No matter what you think of anybody else, what you're watching now is almost a comedy show. Unfortunately, it is real life. You're seeing now that the judge tosses a challenge that upholds allowing non-citizens to vote in D.C., which means that will be in other places as well. Obviously, it will be in the blue states, because I assure you that no red state would let or allow an illegal alien to vote. But again, here it is. The stealing of your freedom, whether you like it or not, and unless you stand up for it, it's going to be gone. Okay? You've got President Biden now wanting to take away your trucks. Okay? In the name of progress, Biden will take away your truck. And of course, they continue to beat this moronic drum on climate change. And again, I am not a believer in climate change, but if you are, again, I'm not saying that you shouldn't be, but if you are, okay, don't you think that they should fix the infrastructure first? Don't you think that if you're going to really battle climate change, that you have to clean up everything before you can get there? Our power grid could not handle all these electronic vehicles. We have the worst roads and bridges that have never been fixed. And as I've said many times before here, since I've been voting, every presidential election I've been to, whether it be Republican or Democrat, every nominee has promised to fix the infrastructure. And so far, close your eyes. What do you see? That is how many have fixed it. Okay. So again, and of course, if you're a climate change person, then you must agree with Corey Bliss. I mean, from Missouri, who says that climate change equals racism. How fucking dumb can you be to make a statement like that? Okay. You know, you want to talk about racism. President Biden is a racist. That has been proven. That is not my opinion. That is fact. He has voted for every racist bill in his entire career of 50 years in politics. Kamala Harris, his own vice president, called him out on it during the presidential debates. So again, yeah, okay, climate change is responsible for racism. So what else can we blame on something else? Okay. How about blaming on our education system? How about blaming that we are raising a generation of morons, okay, that don't understand what hard work is and how, about going to school? But we'll get more into that in our commentary a little bit later. Okay. Now, again, according to the Constitution, the government exists to protect our rights, not infringe on them. Now, I don't know about you, but every day I watch and every day I see something new that says that the government's sniffing its nose where it doesn't belong, especially when it comes to being in my business. Okay. I cannot tell you how disappointing and how much trouble this will eventually create. In fact, it's funny. I had dinner with a friend of mine the other night, and we were talking about this, and I said, and I believe this, that the only way we're going to solve this is to probably have a civil war or a revolutionary war, you know, whatever you want, whichever war you want to call it. But we are in very similar conditions and situations that we were in 1776. And again, I don't know when it will happen. It's just like I don't know when the stock market's going to collapse, but I know that there's a very high probability of another civil or revolutionary war, and there's 100% probability of a market meltdown at some point. But in the meantime, Okay. In the meantime, the real reason that the markets are soaring is the idiots at the Federal Reserve, okay, that are fueling this potential crash, which we'll talk about in our market update. But you now have, of course, Bernie Sanders, a man who never worked a day in his life, a fucking moron that doesn't give a shit about anything, that sits there railing on for the middle class and the poor, but flies first class whenever he flies anywhere. But of course, he now wants to create a 32-hour work week with full pay as if you worked 40 hours. Now, I don't know how much more destruction you want to do to the small business, but again, another policy brought to you by our politicians that will put small business out and continue to grow big business. Now, I've seen all of these politicians rail on about the big companies don't pay enough taxes, blah, blah, blah. But now, of course, they want to put the small guys out of work. So, again, it's something that makes absolutely no sense when you think about it. Okay, it is as dumb as Keith Olbermann, okay, who was another jackass, who says that Trump should be assassinated. Now, again, you may not like Trump, and of course, we all remember the comedian. I forget her name at the moment, the redheaded broad. But I can only tell you this: that statements like that are ridiculous and really need to be addressed, because when you say something, it's like saying there's a bomb in a crowded theater or yelling fire in a crowded theater. I mean, those things are illegal. And to have a personality, jagoff that he is, but whether you like him or not, I mean, saying things like that, you'd get some crazy nut that would go out and make the attempt to do so. And I think that is something, again, you have to watch what you say, especially if you're in the eye of the public. And you are in the eye of, you have a following, especially in these very turbulent times of the United States of America today, because we have turned into the world sewer. And we are now, after being one of the top destinations, one of the top places to live, we are now ranked as the 23rd best place to live in the world. Now, again, 23 ain't bad if you're Michael Jordan. But if you're United States of America, you should be striving to be number one. But of course, when you allow your borders to be flooded, when you start funding illegals that are not supposed to be here, and you expect your taxpayers to pay them, I don't know about you, but I find it kind of distressing that is the situation that we are in right now. And when you think about the things, the morons that we have to deal with, from Bliss to Oberman, to Chair Powell, to President Biden, to me, I think that it's a very scary situation. And of course, and what would a week be without Nancy Pelosi's family getting off with something? And of course, Nancy Pelosi's son dodges charges in money laundering, mail fraud scheme linked to San Francisco Flophouse. Jeez, what a shock. What a shock that another politician is in another covered up scam that screws the people of her city that she represented, who she stole all their money and turned San Francisco into a sewer. God bless America. What a wonderful country it used to be. This is Bubba's Bottom Line, Top Bubba Hordes. We'll step out here for a break. We'll be right back with our market report. What's up, kids? Hope everything is well. Hope you're enjoying March Madness. And of course, remember to check out our sponsors and their broker sponsors. And again, I have many brokers, but these are the ones that I think do the best job for you. And at least check them out. Again, I'll never tell you to switch or to go somewhere. I tell you to check it out for your own benefit. And the first is Capital Trading Group, which is our partner in a couple of different projects. But they are a futures broker. And again, I remind you that if you're trading futures, use a futures broker. If you're trading stocks and equities and options, use an equities and options broker. I have never found one that is good at both. Okay. In the meantime, for futures and options and futures and commodities, Capital Trading Group, that's info.capitaltradinggroup.com/Bubba. Scrolling on the side here. And of course, Tradier for equities and options. $10 a month saves me $100,000 a year. I mean, how can you beat it? Not to mention that we can automate our programs through them at no cost to you, with the exception of our hedging, which has got a licensing fee for the hedging software. But basically, it'd be cheaper than anywhere you would ever go, and you could have all your stuff automated. So try.trader.com/Bubba. Of course, Wealth Charts, who is a platform that is also associated with Trader. And of course, I'll be doing another webinar for them, but very great educational firm. But check them out, Wealth Charts. And of course, our high school program, which it just goes to show you how our country is, that I give it away free. I've spent about $500,000 of my own money building it. And I can't even get into a lot of the schools because the teachers don't want to teach it. But help us out. We want to continue to try to grow it. We've got an in Florida now. I think we're going to get it in. So in the meantime, check on the bottom, okay, for the high school program. And in the meantime, let's get back to Bubba's Bottom Line and, of course, our weekly market report. Welcome back. It is Bubba's Bottom Line. It is Todd Bubba Horowitz. It is Sunday. It is March Madness weekend. It is March the 24th. And what a tournament it's been so far. Yale knocked off Auburn. Wow, what a wild scene that is. And Grand Rapids knocked off St. Mary's. Everybody had them. Well, we had Grand Canyon. But anyways, as we look at the markets again, another up week. Again, look at you have an excess of the money supply. You've got a political operative trying to continue to push things higher. Again, I think that, they came out last week and talked about rate cuts, and they're talking about potentially 3 rate cuts this year. And as you know, I've said this for the last few weeks, that the only rate cuts they can legitimately make if it's going to be a political rate cut. And that's what it sounds like. Because again, although the Federal Reserve is supposed to be private, it certainly looks like they're pulling a fast one. But in the meantime, okay, markets were higher. Okay, again, look, what are you going to do? You're going to fight it? Okay, look, I tell you all the time, no matter what I think, and I think long term there is a monster collapse coming. And again, I still say, remember, let's look at the whole thing from the beginning. Okay, markets are on an uptrend. They've been rallying since 2010, basically, or 2009. But at the end of the day, there will be at some point a massive meltdown, which has happened in history. Every 10 to 20 years, you get a 50 to 60 to 70% haircut. That is still a part of it. But as I've always told you, I am always long, no matter what, because of my IRA and my 401k, which is always hedged. Okay, and short term, I'm long now. So again, you hear my positions every day. So no matter what you think, understand that right now it's a political year. Typically, markets are up 65% of the time. And now you have a Federal Reserve that has become out there every single day, okay, talking about things and talking about potential rate cuts coming in the near future, which means that they're going to try to time it into the election to keep this moron in office. In the meantime, last week, the major indices were all higher. Look, what are you going to fight it? Like I said, we're long, okay? The dollar was higher last week. Okay. Again, the dollar should get stronger here. Now we would be long at starting tomorrow. We would reverse if we were trading it, but we don't trade it. We don't trade it not because we don't like it, but we don't want to pay the fee to the New York exchanges. That's as simple as that. The euro currency, we are going to reverse to short either tonight or tomorrow morning. That'll be up to you. Bonds and notes, we're still short, which tells you that interest rates are going higher. No matter what the Federal Reserve says, the one market that can compete with the Federal Reserve is the fixed income market globally. And we already saw, we saw some cuts and we saw some hikes. So we'll see how it all plays out. But we are short bonds and notes and continue to be so. Bitcoin, we're short now. And somebody gave me a warning. Says, well, it's at support. I said, well, it doesn't matter. The trend is down. And if it reverses, then we'll get long again. Again, remember, sometimes we're flat. So if we get a market that starts to move the opposite direction of our position, then we might be flat for a day or two. Again, that's just the way it goes. In the metals, gold and silver, they're struggling a little bit, but they're still really just stuck in our kind of a range. I mean, gold was basically flat for the week with all its wild gyrations, and silver was a little bit lower for the week. But, again, I'm a big fan, but I'm not going to let my opinion get involved in what's actually going on. They're just choppy. But right now we're long. Excuse me. Great to be back in Chicago. Another cesspool. In the meantime, and platinum is now back under 900 again. I would be looking to buy some platinum around 880. We don't trade anymore. It's not liquid enough, but I'd be looking to be a buyer about 880. Copper is continuing to, try to work its way higher. Although last week it was a bit lower, but again, and I don't understand that market either right now because when you think of building and where copper goes. But in the meantime, we don't care about why. We just care that we're on the right side. The grain markets continue to struggle a little bit, but it does appear that maybe they have found some bottom spacing. We haven't gotten a straight up move and we're still hovering near lows, but it does appear by the action that they have. But we are long corn, we are long beans, we are short wheat. And in the cattle markets, cattle is still fairly strong. Now, there was a cattle on feed report, which was kind of bearish on Friday after the close. I have no idea how the markets are going to react to it, but I can't imagine it's going to be good. But in the meantime, cattle is up near record highs. I'm personally short. We don't trade it anymore. And hogs have been working higher, and I'm personally long. In the meantime, in the natural gas market, again, it continues to go lower. We're short. Crude, has been fairly strong, but had a little bit of a rough time at the end of the week. But we're still long. In the softs, cocoa continues to be ridiculous. God, what a move! Cocoa went from 50 cents to almost $1 now. I mean, what a move! It's like cocoa is the Nvidia of commodities right now. Cotton continues to try to work higher. We're long. Sugar we are short. It's been working lower. OJ is lower. We've been working. We're short. And coffee is a little higher and we're long. I warn you, okay, that don't fall in love with anything. Okay, trade the markets. Let the markets dictate. It's all about the price action. Okay, that's really what it's about. We have to worry about the price action, not what the morons at the Federal Reserve are going to do. Because again, whatever they're going to show you is going to show up in the tape on the chart. So don't try to outthink it. Don't listen to the news. Okay, because the news is worthless. It's old. And by the time you get in, you're going to be the last one in. So forget about news. Okay, the price action and the chart will tell you everything you need to know. This is Bubba's Bottom Line, Todd Bubba Horowitz. We're going to step out here for a break and come back with our commentary and maybe a couple of basketball picks. We'll be right back with more of Bubba's Bottom Line. Well, kids, again, I'm not going to go through the whole spiel, but I will tell you to remember our sponsors, which are Trade Your Brokerage, Capital Trading Group, Wealth Charts, and, of course, our high school program. In the meantime, let's get back to Bubba's Bottom Line and, of course, my commentary. Welcome back. It is Bubba's Bottom Line. It is Todd Bubba Horowitz. And, of course, as we were talking about in the opening, the lack of freedom, the stealing of our freedom. And when you get morons like Keith Olbermann talking about assassination of a president, and when you get the Corey Blisses of the world talking about climate change is equal to racism, people actually believe that shit. Okay. And you're really destroying a population, okay? Between the Gaza stuff and the protesting and between idiots like Bliss and talking about climate change, or Bush, not Bliss. Why did I keep saying Bush? It's Corey Bush. In the meantime, when you look at all these things, okay, and you tie them together, what you really see is dissension and a destruction of your freedom. From the way they're trying to pretend and create this climate change stuff to everything else. You better think about it. You better look in the mirror and decide if this is what you're happy with. Because what is going on, the amount of homeless, the amount of illegals that are in this country, remember, every new homeless person that comes in this country, you are paying a portion of the debt that they are creating. If you're happy with that and you like that, hey, God bless. I can't tell you not to be happy with that. I can tell you, I think it's pretty stupid. I can tell you that illegals should not be in this country. I think that they should be banned. Okay, you want to come to this country? Great. Come in legally. Okay. I mean, that's the way it should be. But instead, we're importing our own criminals. I mean, I'm in Chicago. I mean, I got to wear a suit of armor. I just tell you that you're letting the greatest country in the world slip away. And that is no longer just my opinion. It is also by what the ranking of happiness of the people that live here. This is Bubba's Bottom Line, Top of Horowitz. And of course, there is some basketball today. Okay. And if you like, I do like Baylor again, which I gave you the other day. And I do like Marquette. Okay. Here for you as well. So in the meantime, have a great weekend, everybody. And this is Easter week. So it is Friday. The markets are closed for Good Friday. Happy Easter. Have a blessed Good Friday. And next week's update, we'll try to get out on Saturday so as not to bother you on Easter Sunday. Have a great week, everybody. And we'll see you tomorrow with Bubba's Day Update. Adios.